There we go. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly from Graceworks Enhanced Living, and you are joining into our June education through the Shine Committee, Maximizing Your Graceworks Benefits. Today, we have Frances Dorsey, who is our benefits manager, and we have Micah Hanson-Edwards, who is our success coach. So they are here today to talk to us about Graceworks benefits. Frances?
Thank you so much for everyone being here to talk about maximizing your benefits. I'd like to preface this by saying this is just a highlight of our benefits, and for further detail or for specific personal questions, please feel free to come see me in person. I can talk to you on the phone or email, whichever you prefer. So I'm going to start with PRN and part-time employees and then move on to full-time. First of all, our PRN staff, for those of you who aren't familiar, are staff that have the flexibility to pick up shifts whenever they would like. They have access to our success coach from day one. So some of you actually might recall you go in and talk to them during their new employee orientation here in Dayton. So if you're in our Cincinnati or housing offices, you might not see Micah, but she does talk to our Dayton employees on the first day. If a PRN employee works enough hours within 1 calendar year, you could be eligible for Family Medical Leave Act, the 403B, which is our retirement fund. It all depends on hours. It's very specific, so if you are wondering if you are, please let me know. As for our part-time employees, those are our employees that are working 30 hours a week or less. Those employees accrue a couple of things. First, they accrue paid time off, or PTO, an EIB, or extended illness bank hours. Now, what that is PTO. You can take that for anything you want. You know, if you want to take vacation, or if you just want to take the day off. You know, in a couple of weeks to attend something for your child, that's fine. That's what PTO is for. EIB, or extended illness bank, those hours are for when you are sick. So let's say you are out and you have the flu for 4 days. The first 3 days are still going to be PTO. Your EIB hours are extra hours, basically, that you earn per pay period to help with any illness that is yours specifically. So that does have to come with a doctor's note. And your EIB and PTO hours, in case you're wondering, you can actually access that on CARE. So if you're wondering what your balance is, that's where you're going to want to look for that. Now, our part-time employees also, based on the hours you work in 1 calendar year, you might be able to be eligible for our FMLA, which is Family Medical Leave Act. I'll go further into that later, the details of all of that. 403B, again, which is our retirement fund. And possibly medical insurance. Again, depends on the hours that you work as a part-time employee. Full-time employees have access to all of those things. This is basically because these individuals are employees that work 30 hours a week or more. And we give to our full-time employees a couple of things. First of all, they get paid life insurance. Now, if you're an hourly employee, it's 1 times your annual salary. If you're a manager or above, it's 2 times your annual salary. We also have basic AD&D. That's another one that could pay out, again, same thing, 1 times your annual salary if you are hourly, or 2 times if you're a manager.
Frances, what does AD&D stand for?
Okay, that's what that is. So it's basic accidental death and dismemberment. I hope you never have to use it. Basically, it's in case you're in an accident at work and you unfortunately are hurt very badly, or unfortunately worse than that. Again, hopefully you never have to use that, but all full-time employees do have it just in case. Let's see. Also, the third one that Graceworks pays for full-time employees is long-term disability. Now, this is one that if you've been off for 90 days, that's when this would kick in. So if you've been off for an extended illness or something like that, we pay for it, and it basically helps give you some money to live on if you've been off for that amount of time. Let's see, elected benefits. This is something that I know on No Employee Orientation Day, we give you guys a lot of information. We want to make sure you have all the information at your fingertips, but we do give you a lot. So something that we go over is your elected benefits. Now, that's medical, vision, dental, things like that. So as a full-time employee, again, working 30 hours or more, you'd be eligible for this. You can cover just yourself. If you're married, you can cover yourself and your spouse. If it's just you and your children, you can cover just them, or you can cover the entire family. Now, of course, each of those is a little different in terms of cost and what you pay per paycheck. Now, in your benefits guide, that's where you're going to see all of the costs associated with whatever coverage you'd like to choose. Now, we're self-insured, which basically means this is kind of like a pick and choose. So let's say you have a spouse who has your medical insurance. If you want to cover your family on their medical insurance and just get vision and dental with us, that's fine, you can do that. If you want to get every single elected benefit that we have, you can do that too, but it's kind of nice you can pick and choose based on what your needs are as a family. Let's see, our dental and vision plans is really just a core plan. So it's not like you have to choose one tier or two tiers, just, you want coverage or you don't. Medical, that's a little bit different. So we're with UMR, which is a sister company to United, and we have a PPO plan and an HSA plan. The two differences basically, let's say you have someone in your family who has a lot of medical needs, and you know that you're going to be spending a lot of money on medical this year. The high deductible plan or HSA plan might be a good option for you because that allows you to set money aside in a PNC account pre-tax. So you want to set, $100 per paycheck aside in this bank account with PNC to use for medical expenses, and it just saves you some money because it's not taxed. So that's kind of the nice thing with the high deductible. They're both United. It's just the difference in what you would be able to eventually have to pay out versus not pay out based on how much you have to spend for the month. Now the PPO plan, this, it's going to allow you to go get your preventative care, your physicals, things like that. This one does not come with that PNC account, so you can't set money aside. So, a lot of people that are on this plan might, be generally pretty healthy or, just, not go to the doctor too much and, they just, they use it when they need it kind of thing. But those are the two options. You can choose whichever one you want. We are not going to tell you which one you want to do. You can just kind of glance at it and see, this I think might fit my needs. Let's see, any questions on the medical so far? I know that's a lot of information, so.
Does Graceworks still have the spouse fee?
We do,
okay.
The working fees.
Yeah.
So if you are married and you have a spouse who does work at a place of employment and they can take insurance there, but they choose to be on our plan, it's $40 for the spouse per paycheck. There's also a tobacco fee. So if you or whomever is covered on your plan that is an adult does have used tobacco, there's a tobacco fee as well. Yeah. Let's see. I think I mentioned this already, but in case I didn't, the benefits guide actually breaks down what the cost for you. So, and it is per paycheck, so you can kind of see what is going to start coming out. Now, earlier I mentioned long-term disability. Now, that's the one that if you've been off for 90 days or more, that's going to help pay you. We have short-term disability. Now, what that is, so let's say you get sick or you have surgery. You're going to have surgery coming up soon. And you're going to need to be off for 4 to 6 weeks. Now, the first 24 hours that you're always off, that's always going to be PTO. After that, if you are part-time or full-time, you have EIB or extended illness bank hours that you can use. When you exhaust all of that, that's when your short-term disability, when you've been off for 14 days, that's when that's going to kick in to help pay you for the time that you're off. So you do have to be off for 14 days. You do have to do, of course, paperwork with all of that, but that is what's going to help pay for your leave, and that is something that you would pay for per paycheck. Let's see. Now, when you sign up for this is kind of a very specific detail. So when I signed up at age, 35, I signed up for a specific salary bracket at my age. That's going to stay the same unless during open enrollment in November, I change it. So if I started out at a certain monthly benefit at my age, and I'm here for 20 years, unless I've changed it, it's still going to be that same one. So it's open enrollment. That's something that you're going to want to pay attention to.
That's good to know because I did not know that.
Yeah. Flexible spending accounts. This is something that, a lot of people here have kids, send them to daycare. This is something where you can set, again, money aside pre-tax to help pay for that. And this is for licensed childcare facilities. You can use it for LASIK. So again, it's kind of some options to help you save some money and also pay for some of the things that you might have coming up in your future. Now, all of these elected benefits, this is something that from the date that you start, let's say you started yesterday, you have 2 weeks to decide what you would like to be covered with. So if in 2 weeks, you get paperwork, let's say you want to get medical, you want to get vision and dental, and that's it. You think you're good for that. You're signed up for that till the end of the year. So when the end of the year hits, you are going to be able to choose new options. Can we go back and record over part of this?
Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, so you have 2 weeks to tell benefits what you would like. If throughout part of the year after you're like, oh, you know, I think I'd like that short-term disability. I didn't get it, but I think I need it for next year. Every November is going to be open enrollment. This is going to be the first 2 weeks. You're going to be able to go into care and decide, yes, I would like to take short-term disability, or I'd like to take short-term disability away. You can change whatever you'd like. Even if you want to keep the exact same coverage that you have, you still need to go into care to tell us during that time. So you will get lots of reminders, I promise you, through care, through on shift, the whole deal. But every November, that's when, if you want to make any changes, that's when you'll be able to do that. All right, questions on any of that? Because again, lots of information and details here.
I have a question about life-changing events, but is that coming up?
It is coming up,
Okay.
yes.
Then I'll just let you do your thing and you can share.
It is.
Okay.
So now, earlier I mentioned the 403B. When a lot of people come in, they want to talk about a 401k and retirement program. 403B is basically our version because we are a nonprofit. So you can invest your money through Fidelity or Thrivent, whichever you prefer. You can invest starting with your first paycheck. You can wait 6 months. This one is not time sensitive like your benefits, where like in 2 weeks you have to tell me what you want. Your retirement, you can choose to change it whenever you want. You can choose to start it whenever you want. And it's just basically an application that you have to fill out, and then it's payroll deduction. So you can do it through Fidelity or Thrivent. Those are the two companies that we choose to work with. And so after 6 months, so let's say, Kelly, you started on Monday, okay? And you're like, you know what, I'm gonna throw, 2% of my check into my retirement with Fidelity starting day one. Well, at 6 months, we're gonna match that 2%. But if you wanna put 4%, we'll match up to 4% for you. So if you wanna do 10%, we're still only gonna match 4%. But you can do that, it's just a nice added bonus. We're essentially kind of think of it as free money that we're putting into your retirement when you've been with us for 6 months. Okay. Now, the life change event that you mentioned. So you started with us Monday, and you got married in 2 months. If you'd like to add your spouse, that's a life change event. If you have a child, if you adopt a child, if you get divorced, if you lose coverage from whomever is currently covering you, those are all life change events. And within 30 days of that life change event, if you turn paperwork in, we can get you added or changed on whatever your plan is. So that's outside of open enrollment and your first 2 weeks. That's the only other time that you can change those elected benefits.
Are those listed somewhere in our handbook or something that if we don't know, is this a life-changing event, is it not? Is there somewhere there's a list, or can we just call you? What's the best way to find out?
You can absolutely call me, you can email me, you can stop by, or I'm not sure if it's in the handbook, but if it's not, we'll make sure it's in there.
Okay.
All right. Now earlier I did mention FMLA. Now this is the Family Medical Leave Act. Some people are familiar with it, some people are sort of familiar with it, and some people have no idea what it is. So what this does is a federal law that protects your job. So if I were to go out and need some sort of procedure, and I have been with this company for 12 months, and I have worked 1,250 hours, I am FMLA eligible. Eligible because I've not used any hours in the past 12 months from today's date. So it's called a rolling calendar. Now, if I, 1 year ago took a couple of weeks, that just kind of like takes down the amount of hours that I would be able to take a leave for. So it's 12 weeks that you have within 1 year, or 480 hours, which is based on a 40-hour work week. With me still so far?
You have to get both, the 12 months and the 1,000 and some hours, not
1,250 hours, yes. So if you are part-time and you have been with us for over a year and you have worked 1,249 hours, you are not eligible. If you have been with us for 20 years and worked 1,450 hours in the past year, you are eligible. You have to meet both of those,
Okay.
and that's a federal law.
Thank you.
Now, if you've not met that, if you've been with us for 10 months, or if you are part-time and you've been with us for 20 years, but you haven't worked the amount of hours in the past year, you can take non-FMLA. The leave of absence basically just says your job is not federally protected for you. So you can still take a leave if your manager approves it. And all this does, this is only about the job. This is nothing about the pay. That goes back to the PTO and the EID and the short-term disability. But those are the two options should you need to take a leave of absence. Again, lots of details on that one. So, you know, if you have questions about that, please let me know. Let's see. Now, regardless if you're part-time, full-time, PRN, we have lots of discounts that you can take advantage of. Verizon Wireless, you can get a percentage off of your bill every month. Planet Fitness, if you are a current or want to become a member there, we have a promo code that can save you some money every single month. We have, GoodRx, that's one that a lot of people know about because it's actually a commercial on TV that some people have seen. You don't have to have our medical coverage. You just basically get a GoodRx card, which we have them in HR. Please feel free to stop by or can send them in the mail to you. And a vision discount card. Again, you don't have to be on our vision plan to use this, but it's going to help save you some money should you need to take advantage of those and not have the insurance for it.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because I have the GoodRx app on my phone.
Yeah.
Is that the same as the card? Okay, so it's not a Graceworks specific?
No,
okay.
so GoodRx it's not necessarily affiliated with us. It's just its own entity.
It's wonderful, but I didn't know if I should be using something through a Graceworks one versus, okay, perfect.
Nope, that again goes back to the point that you don't have to be on our insurance. You can be PRN, you can be part-time, you can be anybody. Like somebody could come in off the street and I could give them a GoodRx card and they can use it. Gotcha. So it's not tied specifically to us.
Okay, thank you.
Let's say you're going on vacation this summer. You need to rent a car. You want to go to the movies. You want to go to a concert. We have tickets at work. You can save money on that. We have a promo code again to help save you a little bit of cash there. Now, for those of our employees who are getting close to retirement or close to Medicare age, I get a lot of calls about this. This is a very confusing transition to make sure that you have your paperwork in by a certain time with certain all kinds of stuff that is very confusing, and you go through it once. So we have Retirement IQ, and they are a free service for our employees to use, or if you have parents who are getting close to their retirement age, they can use it. I'm going to send my own mom through it because I don't know how to navigate that, and they do. And it's a free service. So that is for our individuals who are at that age or family members who need it. Again, I just threw a lot of information at you guys. I'm happy to go through anything further with you. Please feel free to email or call or stop by, and we can go through your personal questions or just clarify anything that I said today.
And our August Education for Shine will be on preparing for your 403B. So please check back in August when we do that. Micah is going to share with us a little bit about what she does as a success coach, what her role is, when she's here.
I don't know.
You're good, no worries.
Okay. Hello, I'm Micah Hanson Edwards. I'm a success coach. I am here to help the employees here at Graceworks. I want you to know that the services are free and confidential. I do not report any of your information unless you are going to harm yourself or others. A lot of the resources that I have out there are resources in the community that you may be eligible for. Some of them are housing, pantry items, child care, directing you in directions to where you can get help with transportation and things of that nature. In the past, I've helped a lot of employees get assistance with rental assistance during COVID. You're eligible for those benefits if you have suffered any way from COVID during this pandemic. They help with water, utilities, and rent assistance. So if you need help with that, feel free just to reach out to me. I can give you assistance with doing the paperwork, getting the required documents that you need to apply so it can be a smooth process. Montgomery County is behind on processing the applications, so I can make it very easy for you. It could be a tedious process, so if you were to reach out to me, that would probably smooth your process out and help you get it on faster. I speak to employees about the EAP program, which is the Employee Assistance Program. And it's like a rider, I guess, onto your insurance, because the benefit is, just say you're having burnout. It could be losing a loved one or losing someone in one of the homes you work in, and you're just like, I need somebody to talk to. The pandemic, it's been a toll on everybody. So with the EAP, you get 3 free visits with a therapist at no cost. So you're saving money anywhere from $60 to $125 for 3 visits. Because if you were to go to your primary physician to get that referral, you may be paying that out of pocket as a copay. It depends on what your copay is. So you can get those 3 visits, and then after that, you can get referred to someone in the area if you needed extra help. Also with the EAP, if you had any legal documentation that you needed to be looked over or things of that nature, you can get a 30-minute free consult with a lawyer. So that's a great help as well. That's saving you money. And that's what it's all about. The EAP, they have budgeting tools on their site where you can just plug in your numbers and it can help you set goals and, to pay out bills and just to get you organized with your budget. And you can achieve, a goal or something at the end of the year, so to speak, if that's what your intention was. So the EAP, it can be accessed online or you can call. So that's good information, and it's valuable information, especially with the times that we're living in. Also, I can be an advocate for you. If you're having any problems, and just say you're nervous and you don't want to talk to your manager about it, or you're concerned about training, I can be an advocate for you, and that's only with your permission. So if you don't have to keep things bottled up. You can come to me and we can talk about things and see if we can get them sorted out. And advocation, that's why I'm here, just to advocate for the employees here at Graceworks. Some of the other things, the resources, it's just a plethora of them. I make sure that the resources that Francis spoke about, I make sure that I let all the employees know about them. Hey, you can use these will save you money. Graceworks is a partner with Day Air Credit Union, and they also help the employees get loans. They speak about first-time home ownership, getting your credit on track, budgeting, and I also have resources for other places besides Day Air as well. Credit counseling agencies and first-time homeowner agencies that I can refer you to, and you can get that assistance. So there's a lot of information out there. It is my job to get that information and bring it back to the employees and share the knowledge. So basically, that's all of my piece.
How many employees do you think you've helped in your time here?
Wow, it's been a lot. So it's going on 2 years. So I want to say maybe 150.
All right.
150.
Great.
So, Micah, as a manager, if I have an employee that comes to me and is struggling, maybe they all of a sudden lost their daycare and now they're worried that they're going to quit their job and they're struggling, can I refer them to you or
Yes.
as their manager, or do they have to come to you directly? How does that work?
And that's another part of it. Management can refer employees to me. If they're having problems with tardiness, attendance, or even not getting along well with others, you can refer them to me so we can help, try to hone on what the problem is and try to find out how we can work through this, because at the end of the day, I'm here to help the employee keep their job and, find out, what can we do to make it better for them.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's good to know.
How would Kelly, as a manager, get a hold of you?
Basically, it's phone or email. And that's another thing. I'm located in the Vista Place on the 2nd floor, room 211, and I'm here Mondays and Wednesdays. Mondays, I can be here from 8 to 5. Wednesdays would be 8 to 12. But I do Zoom calls, emails, phone calls. It doesn't matter. You can reach out to me that way.
I've reached out to Micah. She's very good. I can attest to that.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. And the feedback that I've gotten from our employees that have talked to you is that it's very positive and it's helpful, and they really appreciate it. So I know when an employee calls me and they're struggling, I say, I'd like to refer you to the success coach. And it's not like, hey, life's great and you're going to lose weight, that type of success. It's what are the resources that you need? How can we help you not be so stressed, and hopefully save your job? So I thank you. And I think knowing that it's confidential is huge. So once the referral's made, it's on you, and I'm out. So I think that goes over well too.
Yes, it is, and I don't want it to be a stigma like, oh, you're going to the success coach, oh, that's a problem, or you're in trouble. It's not like that. It's establishing a relationship with the employee and just to help them cope in whatever's going on. So
Why, thank you. Francis, thank you. We did have a few of you guys did email in some questions prior to. I know that most of them did get answered. However, there was a question about managing healthcare costs and bariatric procedures. Francis, do you have any time to talk about that?
I do. So with your healthcare costs, there's a couple of things. Preventative care is so very important that I think a lot of people, unfortunately with COVID, it did last, and we understand that. But, you know, that preventative care is so important. Your physicals, your dental cleanings 2 times a month, or 2 times a year, excuse me.
I would love to go to the dentist twice a month. I love the dentist.
You go. But, you know, that preventative, just really taking advantage of that because it's part of what you're paying for. So take advantage of it. The health savings account and the flexible spending account that I talked about, those are 2 ways to save some money in terms of not having to pay taxes on it because it's taken out of your paycheck pre-taxed. So those are 2 ways. So if you're on the high deductible plan, you can do the PNC HSA account. Flexible spending, you can do that. Again, that's like the late sick in your daycare and things like that. Let's see. We have a free nurse line, 24 hours a day. You can call a nurse, they will answer your questions. This is great. So let's say, you know, a lot of people had allergies earlier this year. And, you know, it was one of those things you're like, I don't know what's going on with me. So if you wake up at 3 in the morning and you're like, what can I take to get some relief? You can call the nurse line for free and they will help you.
Is that number listed somewhere?
I will make sure that we get that out.
Great. I did not know about that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, even if, you know, like, let's say you do have a primary care physician and you do call their after hours line, they're not gonna answer right away, but the nurse line does, so that's a nice benefit. Lastly, make sure you have a primary care physician. It is going to cost you a lot less money to go get care for the flu at your primary care physician than trying to go to the emergency room. The copays are very different no matter what insurance you're on. So if you have a primary care physician, that is also a very good way to try to save yourself some money and some stress, honestly, to have to re-explain your entire medical history. Now you mentioned bariatric procedures.
Yes.
So this is one that is explicitly excluded from our insurance, UMR. And as a point of reference, out of all of the similarly sized companies to Graceworks in the Midwest, only 26% of them actually even cover bariatric procedures. So it's not widely covered at all. The reason it's not covered is because it's directly related to the cost of post-procedure complications, which can go into the millions for one person. So while, you know, it is helpful for people who do need to have it, unfortunately, financially, it can be a lot, and we are self-insured, so we do try to be very financially conscious of that. So that is the reason we do not cover bariatric procedures.
Thank you. Whoever emailed that in, I hope that answered your question.
Yes.
Well, I know who emailed it in, but for confidentiality, I hope that answered your question.
Yes.
All right, well, ladies, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else that we want to share before we wrap up?
Just, you know, feel free to email, call either of us. I'm at Dorsey@graceworks.org. I'm at 937-428-7385. I'm in Dayton Mondays, Tuesdays or Thursdays, and I'm in Cincinnati office, but you can call anytime you like.
Yes, Micah Hanson Edwards. I'm here Mondays and Wednesdays. Monday 8 to 5, Wednesdays 8 to 12. I'm also in Cincinnati Thursday from 8 to 12. My number is 513-953-8674. My email is mhanson-edwards@selfhelps.org.
We will put all that in an email and send that back out. So thank you guys for watching. To get credit for today's education piece, please email the Shine email, Graceworks Cares, and we will get you credit for today's message.